Scorpio, welcome to Illuminated Tarot. My name is Jenna. Today I'm here to do a reading for you for the rest of April. We're going to take a look at your recent past, your current energies, and what you may not see coming. Let's get started. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you all are enjoying your weekends. I'm reading for you on Saturday morning, the 19th. We get one more shuffle. What we got here? Ooh, the Sun and Strength. You could be going through a really intense frequency upgrade. Yeah, there's something about the light being shown to you and having the strength and the courage to awaken to a new way of seeing things. Yeah. Putting your best foot forward, Scorpio, towards something. Page of Pentacles with the Strength. Let's see. I want to go into a whole monthly overview. This is going to be one of those readings I can tell already. Thank you, Spirit, for presiding over this reading for Scorpio. Yeah, I think it's been almost 2 weeks since I've read for you. Thank you for your patience. Let's see what's going on. Recent past. Actually, you know what? Oh, we're just going to leave that there. I'm going to pull a few oracle messages. I want to get a few themes. We're going to do something a little different for you all today. Yeah. Death and rebirth came out. No wonder. You are shedding something in your life, and it feels like a whole new reality is emerging. I hope you're giving yourself lots of space inwardly to just, I think that's what you've been doing, creating more inner space to adjust and recalibrate to a new energy. And it's a self type of energy. It could involve new energies around you, but as a backdrop, right? But the inner reality is shifting. And you are feeling more like yourself by creating that space internally. We're gonna put that. I feel like that's overshadowing this whole period for you. Let's get a few frequencies. We're doing things a little different. I'm pulling from a different oracle deck. This is a combination. You all have seen this. For those of you who have been with me. Consciousness, what did I say? Yeah, your reality is shifting because your consciousness is shifting. Whenever we go to, I think that you've been doing a lot of energetic clearing. This could be wiping the slate clean of old contracts. It could be around even old limitations. Anything that felt like it was too hard, or it has to be hard, or I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, or I don't have enough, there'll never be enough. Any kind of limitation thinking. It's based more on a separation consciousness. And I feel like you're making this profound shift from the triggering of a survival type of template that can be overwhelming and almost make you feel drained. There's a huge paradigm shift that's going on for you because we have death and rebirth with consciousness. So you could be getting energetically recoded as you see the way forward on your path right now, Scorpio, with new spiritual eyes. We have the frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all the multidimensional aspects that show up so that we can include them in our reality. Yeah, your consciousness is expanding. And I think that you're now moving to a higher frequency reality, and you're not going to be making decisions so much based on any kind of limitations or old programming around lack or fear. You're becoming more aware of that, more conscious. And we all fluctuate in different energy frequencies, but predominantly what you're going through right now, you may feel like it's intense for you. Just know that there is a reason for it all. We all have times where we have that veil of amnesia, that forgetfulness that rises within our consciousness. And then we remember who we are, and we connect more deeply with source energy. We forget that we are souls, right? Connected to source. And I think that you're freeing yourself from some sort of old program or old constraint. Gosh, I can just read for you without even tarot cards today. That's how intense your energy is. Let's go back to the tarot, though. Let's go back to the tarot. Oh my God. Scorpio. No, they said stick with where it is. Yep, stick with where it is. Okay. Oh, wow. You're definitely freeing yourself from some old programming around what you believe soulmate love to be. We're going to talk about any kind of predestined soulmate bond. In the recent past, we have the Four of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, and the Two of Cups. You felt like you had to hold back from something. There was something that came up around trust. Seven of Swords, deception around a love bond. Currently, we have the Two of Pentacles, where you're trying to restabilize in your own energy frequency. You're reaching to the light, to your guides, to higher consciousness, to the soul within you for, I'm not even getting for answers so much, just to feel like you're back in your groove. You're back in a state of equilibrium, a state of balance. And I think the more you stop looking for answers, the answers will find you by going within. Like I said, you're upgrading to new spiritual eyes. Some of you could feel like you are having moments of clairvoyance, clairsentience. You're sensing the path. That's your soul trying to guide you. So right now, if you are feeling any kind of indecision, fear-based limitations, remember that you are a soul and try to let go of any of the fear and the struggle. Step back from that mentality. Let your soul guide you. Yeah. There's an excitement in the air for you. I think you're coming out of a period of a lot of maybe emotional turbulence, a little bit of chaos. Whenever we see the death and rebirth overshadowing a time period, it's you going through a massive shift in your consciousness, in your vibration, in your energy. And usually that's brought on by people entering or exiting the stage of your life. It's jarring. And then you have to kind of reframe. Yeah. You're focusing on something that has ended, or you're trying to move past something that has ended because there wasn't, it wasn't, either you or somebody around you just couldn't give to it, just could not give to it. With the Ten of Swords right next to the Six of Pentacles, you know, in order for a relationship to work, or relationships, you have to have the energy, the desire to put energy toward it. And whether you or someone else or both of you, despite the love being there, there was this lack of being able to give to it. And it had to do with someone's mentality. Because we have the Four of Cups, which is the consciousness of separation. I think that you are actually, instead of receiving from anyone right now, you're receiving from your divine being, your essence. And I think you're realizing that the more you do that, the more you'll come back into your center of yourself, and you will be able to make decisions accordingly from that place. Because if you're making decisions based on a reality of lack or a fear-based reality, when it comes to how you open, that's going to limit your experience. What you don't see coming. We have the King of Cups. I just saw that a minute ago, but I forget. There is wow, you're wrapping up a cycle. No wonder. There's a lot of healing. We have three majors accompanied by the King of Cups. You're showing up in your heart space. I don't think you see this coming, Scorpio, that what you've been working on is coming back into balance within a cycle that has been very turbulent for you. You're showing me that despite some excitement and some enlightenment peppered in, you haven't felt quite like yourself. And you've been focusing on something that has made you feel separate from yourself. I mean, there's a greater purpose to it all. And I know sometimes when things happen, we want to make sense of it. And Spirit is basically saying, well, retroactively, you will. But in the midst of it, you're confused AF, right? I think the dust is settling and you are picking yourself back up again. And you don't want to dwell too long in any kind of separation consciousness. I really felt this energy coming in. Isn't it not so true that when we go through a heavy period of feeling like we're separate from source, or we got the short end of the stick, or something didn't go our way, it makes us pull our energy back, which is what you have done, reassess, reevaluate, come back into balance, centered, then connect with your heartstrings instead of your mind strings, and you learn higher lessons. I really do think you're going through a powerful paradigm shift, Scorpio, in your reality at this time. It has a lot to do with healing from old trauma. Healing. And you were raising the frequency of what you're willing to feel in your heart. Whenever we have trauma, we start to distrust love. We distrust opening our hearts. And you're making a profound shift here. You're showing me 4 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords. Whether this is the thing we have to take ownership of. Whether you're in a reality where you are, in practical terms, dealing with an energy you can't trust, you have manifested that. So you can learn how to trust. Self-trust. The more self-trust you have, the less you will see distrustful circumstances show up in your reality. We are living in an era where we need to take more responsibility for the circumstances that we create energetically or perpetuate. It is our job to heal and to elevate. And I see you doing just that. You are elevating, Scorpio, out of a limited worldview. And I think you are saying, I couldn't trust this for whatever reason. Was it because the situation or person was untrustworthy? See, Source always says go above that because anything that is based on a lack of trust, disbelief, fear, withdrawal, restraint, shutting down is separation. It's separation. It's a paradigm of fear. And I think what you're realizing is if I approach situations from a lack of trust, I'm going to get that situation in my reality. So I want to get, we pulled, what is that one? Oh my God. This was on top. They told me to pull this card deck out, and it had, I have shelving here in a little container, and the Ace of Cups. This is when we have so much trauma that we look at situations with a little bit of a clouded perception, a distorted perception. And I understand this energy. It's when we get burned too many times and we're afraid to open back up again. And so we call these situations in for a higher purpose. Maybe you did come across somebody that couldn't be trusted. Maybe because they had their own trauma wounds. We can point the blame, but then when we have these experiences, it makes us take a look at why is this occurring? What is it that I need to learn from it? And I think what you're showing me is I am learning how to trust my heart and what it feels. What it feels. Because you are a water-based sign. When you let your heart lead the way, a lot of you are having, this is interesting, no other sign has gotten this so far. Wow. Some of you, we're going to talk about this. We've got a lot of totems showing up here for you. We have the eagle, we have the owl, we have the stag, we have the wolf, and we have the bear. It's almost like all of your animal spirit guides are like showing up on the path for you. And they're helping to guide you forward. This is when our spiritual team draws near because we're going through a metamorphosis. And you've been going through this almost chrysalis, changing from an old paradigm to a new paradigm. So I think that what you're doing is you're seeing that your intentions are shifting. So when you shift your intentions and you're coming from a more healed place out of the trauma wounds, you actually change and alter your future. And I think that you have all of these higher beings. You could be dreaming about some of these beings or seeing them in your reality, out in nature, or even just in digital, in your consumption of digital art. There's something around the animal kingdom, and you deeply connecting with them at this time. Stag is about leadership. Bear is about strength. Eagle is about seeing a higher perspective. Owl is leaning on your wisdom, and wolf is about your loyalty. So it's almost like everything that you believe about the higher purpose of your life, your ability to lead, your ability to exercise wisdom, your inner strength and your loyalty to your soul family is being altered. Wow. That's fascinating. And you have the Ace of Cups with that. Let's now clarify. This is definitely an interesting reading so far. Then we look at the bottom of this deck. Another card that has not come out for the zodiac yet, Scorpio. There's something really beautiful happening here. There's a lot of spiritual medicine, shamanic medicine. You're definitely going through a shape-shifting time where you're seeing your role, the cosmic role of your life path as a peaceful warrior. This is peace, warrior, spiritual warrior. You're going through a massive shift. I'm almost getting to this download. I don't know a whole lot about this, but in some native traditions, they're given certain feathers, and you learn, when they do the dancing at the powwows, you actually become that spirit animal. So a lot of you could be shape-shifting. That's deeply scorpionic, where you're shape-shifting out of an old way of operating, where maybe the predominant fear-based reality was you didn't feel good enough, or this is going to be too hard. And once you heal that and you come out of that, you release the survival template and you step into the true medicine of your soul. Some of you are awakening to your very inner being. And it's changing the way you have new spiritual eyes when that happens. You go deeper. You go deeper. All right, let's clarify. I can't believe this. You're wrapping up a major cycle where you are now, through your very alteration of your intentions, you're changing the future reality. Basically, in our modern lexicon, in the spiritual community, this is changing timelines. This is collapsing old timelines and saying, you know what, I refuse to stay on a path where I'm disconnected from source. And that is because of the fears that I am clinging to that no longer serve me based on old past trauma. And look at that. Inner conflict, competition, me versus you, separation, victimhood, 5 of Wands, Queen of Wands. See, when we go into this victim consciousness or fear-based reality, right? Some people get triggered by victim consciousness. I'm not trying to trigger anyone here. Everything is a spiritual lesson. When you shift from this paradigm, what do? You stand in your own sovereign being. That you are a unique individual on this planet and you radiate a certain frequency that no one else could possibly. You'll have matched frequencies, but no one will ever be exactly like you, Scorpio. And when you own that frequency and you stand in your power, you radiate. You radiate. There's something about you standing in your own authentic truth, in your own frequency, and no longer backing away from who you are. Maybe you've been shy. Maybe you've had a hard time coming out of your shell. Maybe you weren't nurtured in the ways that made you feel strong and confident. But you have almost like you have even parallel realities where you are shamanic in other lifetimes. And strong connections with the animal kingdom coming forward at this time to support you on your path. Wow. You could be going through a very, very, very deep transformation. One like you've never had before. And when we are called to raise in our frequency, we have to shed. We have to let go of the old. We have to. There's no other way. A snake doesn't go, well, let me keep the old skin. Please, I don't want to let that go. No, you have to just release it. It's releasing old ways of operating. And that's what you're doing. You're releasing old ways of operating. Now I'm clarifying death and rebirth. Knight of Pentacles. 4 of Wands. Wow. Wow. Page of Pentacles with the Devil. Wow. Talk about a major realignment, Scorpio. I think that this has been because you've been putting up with something that's been very unhealthy for you that hits really close to home. I don't know what this is. It could be just fear for some of you, something as simple as just I have a tendency to be afraid of really committing to things and putting my best foot forward, and I slow everything down and I question everything. The more you trust in self, the less you will be ambivalent or undecided or back and forth, because you're showing me you're back and forth about what makes you happy and going towards it in the present energy with the Two of Pentacles, the Sun, and the Knight of Wands. Spirit is saying you have a right to slow down and take your time making decisions around your own rites of passage, around whether you're going to move forward and go deeper into something or say no to something. But if you do it because of fear, there's something around you looking at the way your human avatar clings to worst case scenario, survival template. You got to slow yourself down enough when you're faced with big life decisions, Scorpio. That's what I see you doing. Slow yourself down enough where you're not allowing other interfering energies to dictate your choices. You can still get outside counsel, but really, truly, the only director, right? The only conductor of your life is you. And I'm watching you, looking at something and saying, I really want this in my life, but I'm not going to put energy toward it. In fact, I'm going to just push it away, and I'm going to think of everything that could go wrong here. Someone could be doing this around you. It may not be you. I'm not sure who this devil represents. It's a limited belief. It is a old program, whether you or somebody else is operating from this place. And it's around foundational energy. It's because something was rotted or uprooted in the past. I'm seeing a need to transform your beliefs or this person's beliefs, but we're going to bring it back to you, Scorpio, because this is attached to your energy. There's something that you have to shift around your beliefs, around creating more stability and security in your life without having that program of fear. It's like an implant, a negative implant. And I don't know where it started for you. Some of you, it started early on where you watched what commitment can do to two people. Maybe you had parents that fought all the time, or they got divorced, or there was a lot of toxicity in the home growing up. And now when you start going towards something and you get really undecided about it and you get fearful, it's so you can clear up those beliefs, release them, and start to trust. So when you see those signs, of course, if you're going towards something and this is when we have to check ourselves at the door and say, is this an old paradigm, a fear-based reality, right? Is this directing me towards something or away from something? And that's discernment, spiritual discernment. And I see what I see here is a need to shift your perspective when it comes to the things that you're trying to build long term. And actually, this goes deeper than that. A need to shift your perspective about yourself. I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit for your ability to spot what's unhealthy for you, not just on the outside, but what's on the inside. We're talking about the way you let your fears dictate the future reality. And that's what you're shifting. I hope you all are following. I know you are. This is a very deep reading, Scorpio. You've been going deep lately because you're having a huge, massive paradigm shift. All of your guides are drawing near and they're leaning in and they're going, Scorpio is going to transform out of this. Scorpio is going to actually ground and root in their sense of self and open up to their heart chakra and actually find the light within and not remove, but alchemize this old, it's a limitation. It's a fear-based limitation. I'm not even going to go into the past. We're going to go, yeah. And what does it all have to hinge on? I love it. Wow. Scorpio, this is incredible. Okay. Interesting. I kind of wanted to clear up what this ambivalence is about, this back and forth. We have the Two of Pentacles around what makes you happy and going towards it. We have the Nine of Cups. We have the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Swords with the Magician. Again, What reality are you going to choose? I think that you're doing a lot of work right now to take a look at the things that really fill you up and what kind of perimeter you need to put around yourself energetically so you can do the work this is the thing. It's not even about external, internal validation. This is beyond that. This is living life on your own terms, doing what makes you happy, what fulfills you, what gets you up out of bed every day, what kind of activities, what kind of work, what inspires you. I think, Scorpio, you're kind of having a little bit of an existential crisis over your life path and the way you want to live your life. And it's not even about who's in it. It's like, because the relationship with ourselves trumps everything. And you're showing me that you're shifting in your relationship with yourself, where you're actually looking at your human avatar and saying, why have I let you control everything? I've let you control everything. And you let more of that light in. You let more of that higher consciousness in. And you realize, wow, I'm doing the work to actually look at what makes me happy. And I see you going towards something that you really desire. You're making a decision. Queen of Swords is making an informed decision, an intelligent decision. And this is using both the element of as above, so below. You're pulling energy from the divine right now. And you're using all of the elements. Every element in the tarot represents a part of ourselves, whether it's our spiritual work or emotional work, our physical work, or our mental, intellectual work. You are using all the forces you have available to you to manifest with truth, integrity, and clarity, which you actually desire, and not coming from, when we come from a place of being back and forth and not being grounded in self, we're not going to have stable experiences. So you are at a critical juncture where you have to decide whether you want to play small and operate from a fear-based paradigm where it's limiting you, or upgrade to a new spiritual paradigm. You're showing me that you're ready to put the time in, the effort in, and the work in to basically live an inspired life in your calling, in your work, in your very operating system. This is a major software upgrade for Scorpio Nation, where you're looking at the 3D paradigm, which is all ego based on fear and lack, not enough, right? What I was talking about. It's too hard. I'm not enough. To wait a minute. This is magical miracle mindset. And you're saying, you know what? The devil has served me, but I've had enough of those lessons. You're moving away from a fear-based paradigm. And I think there's something that you're looking at. It's like you're looking at that old snakeskin. And there's a part of you that's having a hard time leaving it behind. Yeah, leaving it behind. 5 of... Oh, God, this is so huge for you, Scorpio. Where you're coming from lack mentality and you're going to an abundant mentality. I mean, it's so clear in your future reality. You're like saying, you know what? I'm actually creating situations that aren't working out because I'm coming from fear. 5 of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles. You're making a massive jump. Talking about setting your intentions. You're going through a huge shift. Yep. And I think that you're still going to need a little time. It's almost like let this energy, it's almost like these new light codes are like seeping into your reality and you're being kind of lifted out of a really difficult time period. I mean, the 4 of Pentacles with the 7 of Swords and the 2 of Cups, you could feel like you've been in this perpetual experience of situations, multiple situations where it brought up deep fear in your love relationship history. And you're actually going to spirit and saying, you know what, we got to shift this because I want to change the frequency. I want better experiences for myself. I want deeper connections. I want connections that feel aligned with me, with not who I used to be, who I am becoming, and who I actually find myself being. This is no longer, I think that we're in this like critical juncture where the old is stripping away from us. It's releasing, and it's the old energetic codes. And then we're standing in the center of it and going, all right, I have a choice now. Do I want to stay here? Or do I want to move forward? And you're saying, I need just a little bit more time to let go. Give yourself that time. This is when we, like I said, when I first started the reading, when we need to create space for us to commune in our quietude and our solitude, to actually galvanize, catalyze, shapeshift from the old paradigm to the new paradigm. And your new paradigm, Scorpio, is about you staying in your highest heart center, making decisions from a balanced, open-hearted place. Because you know what it's like to make decisions based on fear in the heart space because of trauma. That Two of Pentacles. A lot of you are going back and forth between the 3D and the 5D. And you know the difference now. You know what it feels like. I think that you're making a big judgment call about, Lee. There is something, wow, okay, I'm going to talk about this. You have a connection in your life, Scorpio, this is all about making a judgment call about whether you're going to really open up your heart. King of Cups, right here. Underneath that was the King and Queen of Wands. There's something that you're aligning with in your heart space that you desire deeply. I don't know what it is. It could be a new career calling. It could be you launching that course. It could be somebody you've been dealing with on an emotional level, that you've been learning a lot about emotional intelligence and relating and coming from an open-hearted place in your truth and integrity with the Queen of Swords, and also in your spiritual essence. Wand energy is your spiritual beliefs. There's something around you opening up your heart to what you believe spiritually in what looks like a connection in your life, and communicating from your heart the truth. But I think that you've been back and forth about bringing something into balance and really investing in it so you can actually create the success. This is also looking at what do you need to do to invest in creating more stability in self so you can rise above your current circumstances. Like I said, you need to set those intentions based on a new paradigm, the new reality, the higher consciousness, and not the lower consciousness, okay? And once you do that successfully, you align with your heart and you are on fire. There's something about you being relit on the path and moving forward and making a huge judgment call and learning from your past experiences. And there's almost this amalgamation around the shape-shifting out of an old reality into a new one. You don't feel like yourself anymore, do you, Scorpio? You don't feel like your old self. You've had a cast of characters that have come in that are different. Or you've had a cast of characters on your life path, the stage of your life, that have left. This is happening to the entire collective. You might have some people, it looks like there's somebody that you actually have a huge amount of love for, that you might actually create some sort of balance in. By coming into balance with you in your higher consciousness, you're going to look at something differently. There's something shape-shifting in a connection in your life. Out of fear, out of lack, out of an ending, and out of giving yourself that space to align, you may actually really surprise yourself, Scorpio, with what you align with in the future, based on setting those intentions now around what you ultimately want to manifest. And it doesn't mean it's the same person from the past. It's the energy you've wanted all along. If you've been contending with being back and forth about somebody in your life, it's because you weren't in alignment with what you wanted. Get clear about what you want. Set those intentions on the manifestation of prosperity and abundance in love, in money, in everything you desire. Lean on your higher self. Lean on your spiritual wisdom, Scorpio. You can do this. This is what you're made to do. You are the mother, father of reinvention, of life-changing energy. It's a gift. You can transform. You can reinvent yourself, your path at any time. And I want you to feel inspired on your path. You don't have to live a life of struggle. You're closing out a massive cycle where Spirit's saying, you know what it's like to disconnect from your heart and shut down because you're afraid, don't you? Because you got hurt, maybe more than once, maybe one too many times. You said, you know what, I'm not going to trust that. No way. And then you're having these circumstances that each one, it's like a wave that comes in, a little wave, then another big wave. It's like if we don't change, if we don't learn the stakes get higher. The hurts get harder. And I think there's something that has hurt you, and you are shifting your belief system, and you are upgrading into a different timeline because you're shifting your energy around what you think is possible for you, Scorpio. And I think you're coming out of maybe a time period where you were judging others or you were judging yourself way too harshly. And this is you aligning with Spirit, coming out of judgment, aligning with Spirit, learning the lesson, stabilizing the energy and investing in you and rising in your frequency, opening up your heart, coming into balance, wrapping up a cycle and aligning with your actual wishes. What do you wish for, Scorpio? Set your sights on that North Star and don't give up on yourself or that, whatever that is. I don't even know what it is at this point. It's, I think what it comes down to is you feeling happy and fulfilled. And I think you're realizing, wow, that's an inside job, isn't it? Yeah. Spoiler alert. Let's see. And I'm sorry for any noise outside. It's a Saturday, folks. People are doing their yards. Oh, wow. Time to let go. I think you've been clinging to an old version of yourself. And all of these experiences lately, it's like, shed it. And it's been hard. I've never really sometimes I get into those, videos and you might see a snake shed its skin. It takes time, doesn't it? For a snake to shed its skin. So I think you've been going through this really deep process of literally shedding the old, which is an old energetic vibration. And now you were upgrading. We have Groundhog Spirit coming in. Time to let go. And you might have felt like it was Groundhog's Day. Oh my God, same freaking energy. I'm sick of this, Spirit. Well, Spirit's saying, have you had enough of that? Let's change the story now, right? Your mantras should be, it's not, like basically when you come out, affirmations will be good for you. Because what I'm seeing is you have a lot that, this is when we have so many things that have happened where we have the data to actually support a fear-based reality. But all of that served your elevation. See, that's what we forget. And then we forget that we are source. We forget that we are soul. So the biggest thing is find affirmations, whatever they are for you, that allow you to see the way forward with spiritual eyes, not human eyes, spiritual eyes. And that's what's coming online. It's almost like I was watching Wheel of Time, which is a really badass show, and he has these wolf eyes. It's literally seeing some of you might even feel like your eyes are shimmering in a different way because you're aligning with your spiritual sight, with the King and Queen of Wands, and you're aligning with your spiritual sight with your heart. When those two are married, you're living your highest timeline. That's what you're doing. You're reaching for your highest timeline, which is a life of stable experiences. We had 4 of Wands in your overall general energy, and we have number 4 here. So this is about creating stability, long-standing security. 10 of Pentacles. 31. Let's read this, and then we're going to get some advice from Spirit for you. This is a big wrap-up in April. Endings lead to beginnings, and death is a part of life. So Groundhog Spirit is here to let you know that it is time to accept the natural ending of something that is no longer serving you. And for me, I really think this time to let go, it's really imagine you. You might want to do a deep meditation where you're literally imagining you releasing the old vibration, whatever comes to you visually. Release the old vibration, Scorpio. Do it over this Easter weekend where you shut your eyes, you go inward, you listen to whatever it is that will bring you into a centered state, and you visualize what it looks like in your spiritual sight, in your mind's eye, what it looks like to shed your old skin. It could be a surprise for you, whatever that is. Ask Spirit to show you, so you can visually see it in your mind's eye. I think it will help you so you can alchemize into this new paradigm, into this new elevated frequency. Okay. We love to hold on to what is familiar, but the new needs space to arrive so growth can occur. When Groundhog Spirit appears, it is a sign there is something in your present situation that you need to let go of so that something new can be born, something that will far better serve you now. When the groundhog sees his shadow, he retreats to his den. So too might you yearn for a little more time to say goodbye and transition into the new. That's what I was saying. You need time. However, change is coming, and it is good. So let go of your resistance. Spring brings many blessings, and what must die will always be reborn in a new form that will be right for you. Life requires change and detachment. Say farewell to whatever once served you and get ready for something amazing to take its place. Spirit is already sending it your way. I think that you've been in this you need to be in this energetic holding space while the universe recalibrates a path that is more favorable for you. So allow the universe to help you. You have the animal kingdom and medicine coming in, allies, spiritual allies that are helping you go through this shape-shifting time. Okay? It is truly time to let go, Scorpio. Wow. As I just see 111 with 4. My God. You know what? I think we need to end it here. That was a perfect ending. It's time to let go, Scorpio. I believe in you and I love you. Take care. Namaste.